Miss Jody here with another video for STEAM physics. We're almost done. We're on chapter 21, I think it is. And it's the chapter on the lenses, which is the application of what we talked about in our last chapter, which was on the behavior of light with understanding reflection, refraction, and dispersion. So now with the lenses and the instruments that we can create to use these behaviors for our benefit, this is a pretty easy chapter in the sense that of introducing the concepts in the sense of note taking. And they have a lot of the diagrams for you to work out the little problems in the book. So I'm not going to go over all of those, especially since we're here towards the end. I know it's getting hard to keep up with all these note sheets and all these lessons, not being able to get back together like we originally thought so far. So I just want to make it real light and just have one note page here with a couple of concepts and then 2 diagram pages to explore the different instruments for the working with these lenses. Okay, so I will be attaching a bunch of videos that go along with the diagram pages for you just to do those topics with the videos instead of having to sit here and listen to me do my little note page and spend multiple pages on calculating all of that when we've already done that in the book. All right, so what's a lens? A piece of glass or other transparent substance with curved sides for concentrating or dispersing light rays. So depending on what type of lens you are, you have, I'm gonna try to set this up here a little higher with my little trusty piece of tape there. I have to get another journal. Sometimes these journals are getting so full, can't see this side, can you? Okay, so a piece of glass or another type of transparent substance, doesn't have to be glass, that has curved sides. And so therefore the curved sides can concentrate, bring them together in the converging lens, or disperse them, or disperse the light rays in the divergent lenses. So these lenses, 2 main categories. We have converging lenses and diverging lenses. So a converging lens, a lens that causes parallel rays that are coming in a parallel to each other, to come to a focus. And I have given you these diagram for one of the videos that I'm going to put in there for some of the experiments with these lenses. This is the diagram of the converging lens. So they're parallel, they come in, and then they converge because they get bent by the lens, and they diverge at that focal point. All right, and so that's the converging, coming together, and that's how I remember it. C for coming together. And diverging lens, a lens that causes divergent rays, divergent different directions is how I remember that. So they diverge out. So you have converging, coming together, diverging, going different ways, different directions, in a sense, diverging out. You've heard of the wording from your younger days as convex lenses and concave lenses. Being able to create these different optical situations for our use using either the convex or the concave. Now, like I said, I'm attaching experiments for you to do with the lenses. Now, the problem is not everybody has lenses at home, and if we'd be together, we'd have to come up with do some experiments together with some of the lenses that we have here. But being separated, if anyone has like a magnifying glass, most of the time the magnifying glasses are converging lenses, you could use that. In some of the videos, I think they just have a block of glass. If you have a prism, if you have like any ornament type stuff that's glass based, sometimes you can use that. So you can try some of the, and there's some with learning how the images form and different mirrors. So you might not be able to do all of the experiments, but it may be 1 or 2, just to help you understand what these lenses do when they're in the presence of light rays, so that we can manipulate them to create all these cool technologies that we use on a daily basis. Okay, so when you don't have the exact lens like the ones that are from the, you know, the educational lenses that teachers have, you can try to see if there's anything in your house that you can use to still manipulate the light in some way. All right, so the next one is focal point. So what is a focal point? A point at which the parallel rays converge after passing through a lens. And so when the lens is bringing the light through its refraction through the lens and it bends, it eventually makes a focal point. And you can see that in the diagram there with that focal point there. Okay, and so that focal point is an easy concept. You probably studied that already in younger days. Focal length is another concept, the distance from the lens to the focal point. So the point to where the rays come together would be your, from that to the point of the lens would be your focal length. And so depending on where you put the lens in contrast to where the light source is, you can get all different things happening with your lenses. And of course, this is how we figured out how to make all these cool things like cameras and projectors and what are the ones they do in our book? Microscopes, telescopes. I think there's one other, but all of these things are built on these particular principles. All right, and then another topic in this is images. And we already started talking about images in our last chapter and the behavior when we looked at the behavior of light with reflection, refraction, and dispersion. So we got a basis of the image world, but what is an image? I mean, what is it? It's a collection of focus points. So when the light comes together and you have these collection of these focus points, it creates an image. Now the image can be what they call a real image. You can see a collection of focus points actually made by converging rays. So these are the ones that are actually being made as the rays are coming down together and converging, versus a virtual image, which is a collection of focus points made by extensions of diverging rays. So the image being from the extensions of the rays that were actually diverted, you would get the virtual ray. Now with real and virtual images, I have a video on that I'm attaching for you so you can actually see it drawn out. And I think I have a real and virtual image experiment. Yes, that one with the candle. Yes, I do have that one too, so that you could try that one at home so you can see the difference between the real and the virtual image creations. Okay, so that way you would get a more of a visual than just the little notes. And like I said, I just wanted to do a couple little note segments for this lesson because we're at the end and I want to just skim it down because we're closing in on our end of our year. And we're running out of room in our journals too. That's another thing. So I did just a couple of these main points for what the lens world is all about. And then I did diagrams for the instruments. So with the instruments, obviously this one is for the video on understanding converging and diverging lenses. So you can write some notes around there and follow the diagram to help you understand that concept. And this is also when we, in the math side of things, looking at how you measure those things to create how they use that to create the lenses themselves, but then also how we would use those different points in figuring out like things like microscopes and telescopes and all that. Okay, so you can do any of those notes around here for any of the videos that are just basically focusing on converging and diverging lenses. And like I said, it's going to be way better for you to watch these really well done videos explaining these concepts than me drawing them out and trying to do these little math concepts that our book gave us. You'll benefit way better from doing it with a video. And then this one is the video of how a basic camera works. And so you're going to have the camera, the image, and I mean the lenses and the image. And I'm sending you a video on how cameras work so you can outline this and figure it out and take any notes that you need to for camera formation. This is for a video on how our eyes see using similar principles to the camera, but obviously eye and camera are different. And I think I have a video on their specifics of being different too. I'll see how many videos. I don't want to attach 1,000 videos before you go crazy having to watch all these videos, but at least if I attach one per topic, and then of course in technology and engineering we'll have some, and technology is the experiment side of things where you can experiment with some of these concepts, and then engineering, building and engineering some of these tools. So there's going to be a lot. And then the second diagram continues on with some more of these instruments. This top one is a simple projector, how that's going to work with the light source and then light panel, which they would call the film in our book, and then the magnifying glass and then the image. So I'll give you a video on that about how the projector works. This one is an area for doing how the microscope works. And so the microscope has a certain build about it to create the image that you want for creating larger or smaller things to be bigger, like microscopic organisms. And then this one is how the, not the reflector, the refractor telescope works. And so our book didn't go into the reflector telescopes. It just said it was basically just the reflector. And I thought, well, that's okay. We don't have to go into everything about all the whole telescope world, but at least the concept of this basic telescope. Okay, so you can take all your notes around these things and color these diagrams according to the light when they're coming in and where they're going, and enjoy the videos, and it won't be that long of a lesson this week. Other than, like I said, we still have the technology, engineering, and the art side of things. So hopefully you're doing well. That's the shortest video ever. I hope you're clapping on your side of the computer and saying, I can't believe she only gave me 1 page of notes, but yes, I did do it. And towards the end here, like I said, I'm running out of room in all the journals, so I'm starting to have to make these little mini lessons, but it's okay. Everyone's ready to be done anyway, so I'm sure you're okay with it. All right, so watch the videos on lenses and instruments, do some experiments, send me some pictures. I've only had pictures sent by certain people, and I'm hoping some other people start sending me some pictures so I can print those out and put those in the journal so we at least have something. And of course, I just love to see you doing science. So, all right, so no update on when we can get together soon, but I'm still being hopeful. And some people say I'm delirious at this point, but I hope that someday we can get back together and finish up our stuff. Hope you're doing well.